And he sends it centrally to Davinson Sanchez. Back in field it goes to Eriksson.
There is no talk anymore about Spurs not being at home at Wembley, is there, would you say?
No.
It's their home now, you would say, certainly for the short period.
Well, for the next couple of weeks anyway. Here's Hudson-Odoi on halfway. Players falling all over the place, and Hudson-Odoi is trying to take advantage of that. Hazard, space for Willian out wide on the left-hand side, but he's trying to go centrally. It's half cleared by Sissoko, only as far as Barkley. Barkley's on the edge of the area. Down the left it goes to Willian. Chelsea on the attack here. Poor cross by Willian, but easily cut out by Spurs and back towards halfway. Kane takes over, nudges it into his own path, runs onto the ball. Jorginho with a tackle. Michael Oliver's letting a lot go here, and the fans not liking that too much as the ball's played on for Hazard to chase, but Alonso's ball is dreadful, and it floats behind rather tamely and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
I think both sets of fans now are appealing for every interaction between each of the players.
Just keeps the atmosphere bubbling nicely, doesn't it? It's good for us, good for the game. Chelsea behind to a penalty given by VAR. Chris Kavanagh, the VAR, awarding that penalty, which has put Spurs in the lead. Harry Kane with the goal. Dele Alli just came over to the near touchline to have a word with Maurizio Pochettino. Maybe it was the other way around, actually. Free kick has been given to Spurs. Rudiger for a... Rudiger was having a word with the referee, but it was N'Golo Kanté who gave away the foul on Dele Alli. Free kick taken, back into centre field, picked up by Davinson Sanchez, and then across to Alderweireld, who guides it back to his goalkeeper, who is Paulo Gazzaniga tonight. Maurizio Pochettino saying yesterday that Tottenham would win a trophy. Daniel Levy, he said, had laid the groundwork for unprecedented success in the future. He didn't know whether or not he'd be around to lift it, which was an interesting statement, one that we discussed prior to the match. And Stuart thinking in particular that it was well timed, coming as it did right at the start of the transfer window. Eriksson curling the ball up towards halfway, bounced out by Alonso in front of Son, and it's out for a throw-in on the halfway line. Here is Eriksson back to Davinson Sanchez, and then it's all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Tottenham just content to hold on to possession. Well, if anyone wanted to understand the rivalry between these two teams, they could watch a replay of the Battle of the Bridge back in April 2016. 12 yellow cards, 9 of them for Spurs. Spurs 2-0 up at half-time. John Terry saying in the dressing room at the break, "Not on my watch." And Hazard making it 2-2, robbing them the chance of winning the title. Dembele getting banned for 6 matches for eye gouging. It all went off. Here's Sissoko down the left from Kane's pass. Oh, he tried to pick out Eriksson. If he had done, Chelsea were in trouble. They hadn't watched the late run to the edge of the box by the Dane. Here's Hazard on halfway, trying to get Chelsea on the front foot, something they haven't really been able to do in the last 10 minutes. Odoi comes forward, tucks it back into the path of Kanté, and Chelsea's attack slows again.
It has to slow down, because what the wide players want and what Hazard want is when you head towards goal, you want a little bump pass. You want someone to stand there and say, just give it to my feet.
Here is Azpilicueta looking to get the ball into the centre and towards Hazard. It was a cross which he could have met, but he ducked out the way of it because he didn't realise it was coming. Here is Hazard again, 10 yards back from the edge of the box. Willian down to Alonso, a chance to cross for the Spaniard into the near post. N'Golo Kanté is there, and he wraps his foot around it and hits the outside of the post. Well, it was an excellent delivery into the near post by Alonso, and he just couldn't get enough of his body around the ball to angle it inside the post. He hit the outside of the woodwork.
Set up play, fantastic. Cross coming in the box from Alonso was brilliant, and the movement. He's had to get across Alderweireld to actually get contact on the ball, and that put him beyond the near post, and the angle become too tight.
Good chance for Chelsea, and Gazzaniga just watched that and breathed a sigh of relief as it hit the outside of the upright and went behind and away for a goal kick. 5 minutes before half-time on Talk Sport in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and it's Tottenham who lead by 1-0. Oh, Gazzaniga with a poor kick out. Chelsea don't make the most of it. Jorginho had it and then just couldn't find a simple pass forward. Barkley back to Alonso. Alonso to Hazard. Willian Back towards Conte, who's going to strike. No, he's not. He's going to go down the right to Hudson-Odoi, who's now into the penalty area. Gets onto his left foot, tries to whip it in towards the far post with his left foot. Not enough bend and curl on it, and it was just a little bit too high.
Yeah, he's received a great deal of the ball this evening, Hudson-Odoi. Done all the right things there, dragged it inside Rosie, and then just looked for that top corner, but just didn't put enough bend on it.
He did well to actually make the space for the shot. I think Danny Rose was anticipating him going down the line, and because he cut back in on his left foot, there was a bit more room for him.
Well, the shooting opportunity was on. He'd done exactly what he should be doing in that situation, but obviously got his technique wrong.
Well, Chelsea again failing to trouble Gazzaniga. And when you think that they've had 8 attempts, but only 3 of them have been on target, Tottenham have only had 2 attempts, and they've both been on target. And one of those was the penalty. Alderweireld gets it back to Gazzaniga. Tottenham lead. Quite an even game, really, but the penalty has tipped it in Tottenham's favour.
With that centre forward that limits their real cutting edge, because a lot of the efforts they've had have been deep range shots, haven't they?
Yeah.
More so having a bump pass off a centre forward.
1-0 Spurs. Here's Eden Hazard, midway inside Tottenham territory. Out to Callum Hudson-Odoi, then on to N'Golo Conte. He switches the ball out towards the far side. Alonso's got room to manoeuvre. He produces a cross into the box, but it's headed away by Alderweireld, picked up by Hudson-Odoi, and then it took a little nick off the retreating Eriksson, and then into the air it went, and because it went high, it gave Gazzaniga the chance to run and clutch it, and he brings it out towards the near side. It is 1-0. Spurs have won the last 2 against Chelsea. They haven't won 3 in a row against them since the 60s. And they're on course to do that tonight. Here on the left side is Willian, who moves towards the angle of the box, but when he plays it down the left side, both Hazard and Alonso were not there, and he gave the ball away. And Christensen's got himself in a tangle here with Son, not for the first time. He's now going over to have a word with Michael Oliver. Needs to get back into position quickly. Had a lot of football last season, Christensen, then disappeared off the radar, didn't he, for 6 months or so.
Yeah, he's certainly outstanding this summer, wasn't he, at the World Cup?
In that Danish team that almost knocked Croatia out. They ended up going to penalties in their last 16 game. It was in Nizhny Novgorod, I think it was. I was there that day. Kasper Schmeichel was in good form. Spurs have been in good form recently as well, and they're on course for another victory tonight. They lead by 1-0. Here's Danny Rose, left side of the Tottenham defence, up to halfway, where he finds Eriksson, who just teases the ball down the touchline, looking to find Son, who turned, but Rudiger, the German international of some standing, read that quite beautifully and just nicked it back to Arida Balaga. Here is Pilikawaita. Chelsea in a tight area in the right full-back zone, trying to bring the ball out from the back. Callum Hudson-Odoi thought he'd kept it in. He was sent a rather ambitious pass from Conte, and the officials saying it went out for a throw.
Yeah, good pressing there by Tottenham. Got 4 or 5 players over, swamped the area, and made it increasingly more difficult for Chelsea to play out and force the error eventually.
Well, I think most people would say that Tottenham are further down the line than Chelsea. I know only 4 points separate them in the Premier League table, but they're more advanced in their planning, preparation and schooling than the new outfit from Maurizio Sarri, who only took over in the summer. In fact, right at the very end of the pre-season. I think the 13th of July he came in.
Yeah, I know every coach wants to come in, have a real tilt on the transfers in and out, and obviously have a solid pre-season behind the team to get to know the players.
Of course, there are going to be vacancies at this time of the year, and there will be 1 or 2 managers who start thinking about getting back into work. And they won't have a pre-season. They might get some activity in the transfer market because the window is open. Chelsea rumoured to be doing a bit of business. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Maurizio Pochettino saying that tactics secondary in this match. Mentality, approach, determination would ensure the person who applied themselves the best would go through in this. It's going to be a battle. I think this one is going to be tight between these two right to the very end of the match in Stamford Bridge in 2 weeks' time. Here is Hudson-Odoi being picked out by Alonso. He goes towards the edge of the area, plays it into Conte, wanted the ball back. Again, the ball from Conte, not great to Hudson-Odoi. It breaks down, Tottenham clear, and Ali runs on. Rudiger comes across very quickly, clears, goes out on this near side away for a throw. That bump pass that they were looking for there was Hudson-Odoi into Conte, and he wanted it back again.
Yeah.
It just didn't fizz back into his feet, did it?
Yeah. What you need to set yourself as a good centre forward and say, right, I'm going to hold the ball and wait for your run, or alternatively set it off first time. There's no one thing you should do all the time. It depends how tight the individual is next to you, when the passer of the ball wants the ball back, and it's just understanding that. But more often than not, Chelsea haven't had a player in the box to receive.
Hazard finding Hudson-Odoi, a little deflection, it comes off the post, and somehow Gazzaniga just about got enough on it to stop it from going in. That was almost a certain leveller. The cross from the right hand side from Hudson-Odoi took a wicked deflection. It was looping over the goalkeeper, but he reacted. Another cross into the box, headed away by Danny Rose, goes out for a throw-in over on the far side. That was a chance for Chelsea.
Oh, it's a fantastic chance. I'm not sure whether it got a deflection or not. I think he's got his cross wrong. Love to see the replay of that, but you've got to say, fantastic goalkeeping.
Well, the ball went out to the right side by Hazard. It was taken on by Hudson-Odoi. It did take a little deflection, I think, off Danny Rose. That sent it spiralling into the air. It went over the top, or looked like it was going over the top of Gazzaniga and into the net, and he just about got a fingertip on it to put it onto the post. That's the last action of the first half, a first half in which VAR has played a crucial role. It handed a penalty to Harry Kane. He stepped forward, converted it, and Spurs, as a result, have taken another step down the road to Wembley. At the break, it's Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, that was a good save. Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce with the first half here at Wembley. Tomorrow night, it's Manchester City, the Etihad, and we're all there again. And it's Burton, of course, and Nigel Clough's side, the visitors. So don't miss a moment of that tomorrow night with us here on TalkSport. TalkSport 2 right now, it's that North East derby. Newcastle United's under-21 side in the checker trade against Sunderland. No goals to tell you about there so far. And just thinking of TalkSport 2, Friday night, Leeds against Derby in the Championship with Jim Proudfoot and Simon Grayson. And on Saturday, the brilliant Match Day Live as always. And Leicester City against Southampton in the Premier League on TalkSport 2. Danson Perry Groves with Russ Williams in the chair. And then on Monday night, Manchester City against Wolves. We're back at the Etihad for Premier League action. I'll be alongside Jim Proudfoot and Ray Houghton as well. Do you think, Stuart, just one thing about Chelsea, it's all a bit obvious up front? There isn't, if Spurs get it right defensively at the back, Kante did magnificently well to get up there, but they haven't really got quite enough for me at this level up front.
Sags, I equate it to having a jigsaw, and you get the jigsaw all out, you lay it out on your coffee table, and there's a piece missing. That piece is a centre forward, and I think he knits all this good play together, because on territory, Chelsea have probably had slightly more territory. They've got the ball into wide areas, especially on the right hand side here to Hudson-Odoi. But players like him and like Hazard, they need a foil to play off of, someone that might not get on the end of things to score, but is there for a little pass around the corner or to occupy defenders at times.
Perfect. And technically both sides really great, but at times, the out ball for Chelsea isn't easy, is it?
No, it isn't, because of the stature of their team. It's not like if you're under pressure in Tottenham's back line, you can put a decent ball up. Harry Kane will fight for it. Dele Alli will fight for it. If it goes beyond them and goes in behind, Son, is going to show an element of pace. Chelsea haven't got any physical presence in regard to anything sort of above head height, if you like, and that holds them back slightly.
I think Spurs as well going forward will think that perhaps it hasn't quite run for them in front of goal, but they'll be a little disappointed that they're only one up, from a penalty.
Yeah, they will. They've been quite comfortable in the game. I think both teams, I don't think there's a great deal between the teams, if I'm being honest with you, but Tottenham have got a little bit more cohesion, I would say, in the right players. Their jigsaw's complete. It's just getting the passes together. Chelsea, I think, are just short of a man in the box all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the big difference between somebody staying in a hotel they know well and somebody who don't know how far to turn the shower red to hot or cold. I mean, as far as Chelsea are concerned, they all know each other's movements and where they're going to be, don't they? And I think that Spurs have really shown Chelsea how to do that.
Yeah, and I think the mentality that Chelsea is going to have to show in the second half, that if Tottenham get a 2-0 lead or more to take to Stamford Bridge in a couple of weeks, I think that could be too much. That could suit Tottenham. They've got to make sure that they're in this game in the second leg. It's the first leg of a semi-final.
VAR does the stuff whether we agree with it or not at times, and it was just a lot of doubt about it, because still they haven't quite found the way to make it happen in front of the live crowd at the game. It's
not become second nature in our game at the moment. There's still doubts in all of our minds, and I'm probably the biggest doubter of most, I must say. But listen, they've got the decision right. It was a very, very marginal call, but the linesman would have flagged offside, which he did. VAR corrected it. We saw a goal on the back of it. That probably tells you that it's worth having.
Well, from that point of view, it absolutely is worth having. And what it has meant is that it's Spurs who go in front against Chelsea at half-time, thanks to a magnificent penalty from Harry Kane.
Back out wide to Trippier. His cross is in towards Harry Kane with an overhead kick, but it's grasped by Kepa Arrizabalaga. Kane goes through into the penalty area. Now the referee, I think, is going to consult with the VAR here, because the ball's gone over the top and Kane's gone down. Well, it's definitely a foul by Arrizabalaga. So was he offside in the build-up to that? That is the big question. If he's offside, there's no penalty. If he was onside, then Tottenham are getting a penalty kick here. There's the penalty. So he was onside, and it's a yellow card for Arrizabalaga, and Kepa Arrizabalaga has given away a penalty. Well, Harry Kane has grabbed the ball, as you would expect him to do. He has 6 goals in his last 5 games. He has 32 goals in 47 appearances in London derbies. Harry Kane, MBE, has been awarded the honour of taking this penalty away to our left. He puffs out his chest, he addresses the ball, he rifles it into the corner beyond Arrizabalaga at such velocity it was impossible to stop, and he shoots Spurs into the lead in the semi-final. It's 1-0. Down to Alonso, a chance to cross for the Spaniard into the near post, and N'Golo Kanté is there, and he wraps his foot around it and hits the outside of the post. Finding Hudson-Odoi, a little deflection, it comes off the post, and somehow Gazzaniga just about got enough on it to stop it from going in.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. Let's do it right. Free-thinking football talk from an independent spirit.
Join me, Jim White, for a mid-morning travelogue of hard-hitting comment, discursive debate, colourful chat, and a galaxy of big-name guests.
You're all right. It's Jim White.
It's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
Jim White, tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport with Wix. Let's do it right.
Difference, daring. It's unexpected. So if you're ready to leave what you know behind, you'll be surprised where different takes you.
The new powerful and efficient Honda Civic Sportline. 0% APR and £1,000 off when you book a test drive. Offer ends January 31st. Honda dealers are credit brokers, not lenders. Finance provided by Honda Financial Services. Authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Credit subject to status for over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Visit honda.co.uk for more details.
All alone at the back post. Keeper's nowhere. Surely? No! It was an absolute sitter, and he's put it wide.
Some opportunities you can't miss, like a chance to try your bet with ComeOn.com. Build your own same-game multi-bet with cards, corners, scorers, scorelines and more.
Use your head!
ComeOn.com. Bet £10, get a £10 free bet. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Bet responsibly at ComeOn.com. New UK mainland customers only. Minimum £10 bet on odds of 1.8 or more qualifies for £10 free bet. Terms apply.
You don't mind if it's a national event or a minority sport. You'll watch it anyway. Ball or racket, racing or fighting, you love the competition, the dedication, taking sides and picking winners, and just sometimes losers. And when you open your screen, it's always on Yahoo Sport. Breaking news, the football show, score alerts, stats, NFL highlights, interviews, insights, Steve Bunce's podcast. And it's all in one place where fans come first. Yahoo Sport.
What will happen when the UK leaves the EU? Do I need to renew my passport earlier than planned?
I'm an EU citizen living in the UK. How will this affect me?
Will mobile roaming change?
How will exporting my goods be affected?
You might also have questions about how leaving the EU on the 29th of March will affect you. Find guidance and up-to-date information at gov.uk/EU exit.
And that's it. Never miss a goal. It's into the bottom corner. Kick-off League Cup Special with Mark Saggers. And it's in again on Talk Sport.
Spurs leading in this first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup at Wembley against Chelsea by 1-0. Harry Kane with the penalty after a little bit of work from VAR for the first time this evening. And when it's all over, plenty of work for you with Andy Goldstein and Perry Groves in the Sports Bar tonight. 08717 223344. Andy, good evening.
Saggers, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, actually. Look, I'm enjoying this one so far.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed that first half, and all credit has to go to Michael Oliver. I think he handled that VAR decision absolutely perfectly. I still can't understand why players in this situation, Chelsea players, surrounded the ref after her decision had been made. I mean, what are you arguing with? You're arguing with a group of people that sat in a room that have watched it multiple times from multiple angles that have got the decision right. Get on with the game. It annoys me. And also on social media, Chelsea fans are tweeting me saying, oh, the linesman's flag went up. And it's like, well, I was always taught, I'm sure Stuart was as well at school, and you, Saggers, you play to the referee's whistle.
Well, they know all of that, don't they? And it's sort of, he did a sort of half up down, didn't he? The assistant.
But
with
I thought the whole thing was handled absolutely perfectly. I agree with Stuart when he was saying the one thing missing from Chelsea is Giroud up front. They just, players like William, especially William, who's been non-existent in the first half, Hazard as well, they look a little bit lost without that big target man.
They look light, don't they? Yeah. I think they look light up front.
Yeah, they do. Having said all that, I still think Tottenham need one more goal to take to the bridge.
I think that's a really good point you make as well. What else you got for us tonight?
Yes, so of course the first hour will be taking calls on everything and anything that you're hearing live on Talk Sport. We're on air at 10 with Perry Groves alongside myself. We've got the Ralph Bellis back pages tomorrow's tonight. We've got all the European football roundup, transfer gossip with Kevin Hatchard. We've got the Midnight Train to Madness. We've got boxing chat with Dan Raphael. We're also on a night like tonight, we have gadget chat. And we've got Perry's views on Paul Merson's comments in the press over the last 24 hours saying that Arsenal are about 20 years away from winning a league title. So we've got lots and lots to get through. But we'll begin, myself and Perry Groves, from 10 p.m. right after the final whistle at Wembley with your calls, 08717 223344 on, of course, this Carabao Cup semi-final first leg.
Excellent, Andy Goldstein and Perry then with you as always from 10 o'clock tonight. Looking forward to that. Stuart Pearce alongside me here now. Second half, I think we're probably going to see much more of the same, really, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't see much changing. I think the one thing's changed since the game where Dele Alli was around Jorginho. I don't think Chelsea have tried to utilise Jorginho as much, playing through him. What they've done is get it out wide into the wide areas. That's why the likes of Hudson-Odoi and Willian have received a fair amount of the ball. But they've got to make sure that they deliver and, create from those areas.
As far as Spurs, that terrific work that he does.
Yeah, listen, he's a man out on that football pitch. You know full well when he makes the correct decisions, which I like about him. If the ball needs holding up, he'll hold it up. If it needs setting off first time, he does that. If he needs to buy a foul to break the tempo of the game, he'll do that. He knows exactly the right things to do at the right time of the game, and that you probably can't coach. It just comes naturally.
Why they probably need 2 goals as well. I mean, if you think about it, the 2 chances that Chelsea had, the first one, Candy did well to get in. That was if that had just gone in, the keeper wasn't getting it, but he made a terrific save with that deflection at the end.
He did. As I say, there's been 2 efforts from Chelsea that were really unfortunate. They've hit the woodwork twice, whilst I think maybe I don't know, it's difficult to quantify whether Spurs deserve their lead or not. You know, there's not been much in the game. Territorially, I can remember Chelsea being sort of up Tottenham's end of the pitch for the majority, certainly a fair amount of the half, but there's a lot of football to be played, and it's whoever takes those chances, Sags. But I think a 2-0 advantage to Tottenham to take to the second leg will be too much.
It's quite interesting here when you look at the stats at half-time. 50-50 on the ball possession, fair enough. Goal attempts, 8 for Chelsea and just 2 for Spurs. Shots off goal, 4 as well. Block shots, 1 for Chelsea, none for either of Spurs on that. Free kicks each and just the 1 corner kick so far. So yeah, Chelsea will perhaps feel that they should have had something out of it, but I still think it goes back to that first thing that we talked about. You really need, in this sort of game, for all of your technical ability and all that you are, somebody up front who can just drag the defence one way or the other, and they haven't been able to do that.
No, and whenever you get in the final third of the pitch and you're attacking the opposition, if you've got no centre forward or no individual in the box occupying central defenders, it makes their job so much easier. They know that all they've got to worry about is a shot from 30 yards and getting their angles right. If you've got a centre forward operating between the 2 central defenders, it just might occupy them enough for somebody else to get in.
Well, 45 minutes to go here, and then we're only at half-time in this Carabao Cup semi-final. The first one, of course, between Spurs and Chelsea. Tomorrow night we've got another magnificent one for you as well, very different, with Manchester City up against Nigel Clough's Burton. Everything's different except our team, and that's Stuart Pearce and your match commentator Sam Matterface.
Thanks very much, Sags. Harry Kane is the first player in Tottenham's history to score 20 goals in all competitions in 5 successive seasons, thanks to that penalty that he converted in the first half here at Wembley. Spurs have scored 6 of their last 7 goals in the second half. In fact, 6 of the 7 goals they scored at Tranmere were scored in the second half, which is not a great omen for Chelsea. The first legs tend to be cagey affairs, aside from Manchester City's 6-0 win against West Ham in 2014. No semi-final first leg in the Carabao Cup has featured more than 3 goals in the last 11 games. Indeed, the first leg scorelines in the last 5 matches, including Premier League clubs, have been 0-0, 1-0, 2-1, 0-1 and 1-1. Chelsea will be desperate to get on the score sheet tonight. No changes at half-time. We're underway. Chelsea in royal blue, shooting from right to left. They've given the ball away to Kane, and now Dele Alli is going through the middle. Tackle from Rudiger. He sticks out the long left leg and pokes it away from Ali and out of play for a corner kick, but that was a mistake by Barkley.
It was poor pass from Barkley, put Tottenham on the attack, and just looking at Rudiger's tackle there, he sort of launched himself, both feet off the ground. And I'll tell you what,
Well, he got the ball and didn't go anywhere near the man, which I think saved him, really. The corner's come in, it's been headed straight at Balaga, and Chelsea are now trying to come forward with Barkley out towards the right and Pilikueta. What have Chelsea got to do in the second half to get more on the front foot? I mean, I feel like it's a bit wrong to ask you that, because I know you're going to say to me, bring on a centre forward.
I think they've got on the front foot. I think the game's been, the possession suggests it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think territorially, I think Chelsea have probably had slightly more of the territory, to my mind's eye. They just need a little bit more cohesion in the front area, and possession suggests. Listen, I can't keep on about the fact they're not got there, and Hazard just drops back, which comes naturally
on drive time earlier on that it didn't seem much point. He's not going to score any less goals than Morata and Giroud at the moment, is he?
No, you're right, he isn't. It's just a general all-round play, but at this moment in time, Sarri believes that the personnel he's got out there, in all honesty, he probably doesn't trust the two centre-forwards he's got at his club at the moment. He's got a youngster out on loan, so between the three of them, he doesn't trust...
And Batshuayi out on loan as well, who he doesn't fancy.
Well, exactly. I've forgotten all about him as well. So the one thing Chelsea need, they need to go in the transfer market and get a centre-forward of the like of Costa that knits everything together.
Chelsea about to take a free kick, which has been given because of a foul on Eden Hazard. It's 7 yards in front of the centre circle. Willian has chipped it into the box. He's looking for Hudson-Odoi, and it almost found him because it went over the top of the wall and dropped towards the right edge of the box. It was a late run by Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he just seemed to back out of it at the last minute. I don't know whether it was too difficult for him to latch onto. Good touch by Trippier. Plays Sissoko in on the right side. It's a poor ball back by Trippier, Sissoko, sorry, and he's given it straight to Conte, who's found Hudson-Odoi. He tried to flip it back in field, looking for Conte, and it's back with Alderweireld and all the way back to Gazzaniga. Tell me back to that free kick.
Yeah, there wasn't too much. Whether he was offside or not, who knows? Obviously VAR would have decided that if he put the ball in the back of the net. I think he was potentially just offside.
Just seemed to sort of pull out of it at the last minute, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I don't know whether he thought that the ball was just too far away from himself to make an effort at it.
It is the Tottenham fans you can hear singing behind us here in the commentary box at Wembley. We're at the back of the lower tier, just right of the halfway line. Spurs away to our left, just trying to knit some passes together to get out from the back. It is their 15th appearance in the League Cup semi-finals. They have progressed on 8 previous occasions, and they're in the lead here thanks to Harry Kane's penalty. 4 minutes gone, second half. Ball travels up the field, or either Balaga then has it at his feet, and Alonso rather tamely plays it down the left to Willian, who doesn't look as comfortable on that side as he does on the other. Infield it goes to Jorginho. Chelsea wait and then come back to Willian again. Willian sends it square. Now on to N'Golo Conte, who runs forward down the right. There's space out in the wing position for Callum Hudson-Odoi, who receives it, runs into the box, chops it back towards Hazard, who tries to flick it up and get a shot away. He takes the ball wide, then tries to chip it towards Barkley at the far post. Trippier was watching it all the way, got in front of the England man and glided it out and away for a corner kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, good set-up play there by Chelsea, but once Hazard comes out from that central berth,
there's a vacuum, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's a numbers game then, and you're looking at the Chelsea back line of 4 against one. The Tottenham back line of 4 against
Williams.
one.
Corner in towards the near post. Rudiger goes throwing himself towards it, and it went just over his head and was caught by Gazzaniga. Looked like there might have been a little push in the back there from Dele Alli on Antonio Rudiger. Olivier Giroud, that centre forward that you'd like to see on. 20 goals in 78 Premier League games as a substitute. Is sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's the answer in the long term for Chelsea, but the one thing I would say is I think it'll be a breath of fresh air to the likes of Hazard if he did come on.
Here is Eriksen taking the ball on halfway, trying to nudge it down the left for Danny Rose. Cut out and given to Barkley. Barkley turning the ball amongst his toes, trying to send it forward, but he took too long to get his pass away, by which time he'd hit Ali and the ball had ricocheted into Tottenham possession. Kane has it now, turning the ball onto Heung-min Son. It was a good intelligent ball out from Harry Kane. Up to Sissoko, on to Ali, back into Kane. Kane trying to rifle a shot from distance, and Arida Balaga has to save it. Moving away to his right, it stung the palm so much that when he bounced back to his feet, he shook his right hand. It was aching with the power of the shot from Harry Kane. Corner.
Great set-up play there by Tottenham. Harry Kane takes one touch on his left foot, sets it up, minimal backlift, unloads a shot. Great effort.
Great effort and a very good save by Arida Balaga, whose hand came up above his head to stop Corner into the near post, Winks with the header. It hit the back of his head and runs out towards the near side, the right. Taken on by Kane. Kane shuffles it back to Son, who takes it on in one movement, runs down the right side. Azpilicueta just about did enough to nudge him off the ball, and the goal kick is given to Chelsea. 7 minutes played, second half.
Yeah, clever play there by Son. As the Chelsea back line were coming out, he darted in the opposite direction, and good play by Big Dave, as they call him at Chelsea.
They did used to call him Dave. They had to change it. Do you know why?
There was another Dave there.
The coach driver's called Dave.
They are.
So it's Azpi now. That's the nickname.
Azpi?
Azpi's in Azpilicueta. Here is Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right side, sending the ball infield. It finds Willian, who runs towards the edge of the area, exchanges passes with Hazard, who chops it onto his right foot. Down the middle of the goal it goes, and it's an easy save for Gazzaniga in the end.
He's been pretty assured, hasn't he, Gazzaniga? What age is he, do you know?
26.
26, yeah.
He's been the cup keeper for a little while. He leapfrogged Michel Vorm earlier in the season in a game that we did, I think, down at Brighton. Ball drifted by Spurs towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed away by Christensen ahead of Kane. Picked up in centre field by Azpilicueta. Then on to Ross Barkley. And then out wide to Willian. Willian now moving down the left, finding Alonso. Alonso cuts infield, plays it on to Willian. And then it's on to Hazard, who's in that left wing position. Back into Willian once more. He chops it onto his right foot, moves centrally, lays it on to N'Golo Conte. Room to get a shot away. Does get a shot away, beaten away by Gazzaniga, who's diving away to his left. But again, it's another shot from Chelsea, from range, from outside the box, that was always going to test Gazzaniga, but never going to extend him to the full.
It's amazing when Kante gets the ball. He's in a great shooting position. He winds his foot back behind his neck and still doesn't generate a great deal of power, does he? You never fancy him to waz one in the top corner.
Yeah, and even that's not that far. Here is Hazard on to Alonso. Alonso again plays the ball infield to Barkley. 10 minutes gone in the second 45. It's Chelsea who are on the attack, but they're trailing by a goal to nil in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. A VAR awarded penalty. Harry Kane taking it and dispatching it beautifully. Here is Alonso.
You would say if Chelsea are going to get a goal, it's going to come from someone unloading a shot from about 25 yards at this moment.
That's all they've really done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here is Hudson-Odoi coming down the right-hand side, trying to trick his way into the box, produces a cross towards the far post. Trippier nudges it down back into the goalkeeper's arms. It was well worked by Hudson-Odoi, but the problem is that sort of ball is aimed for someone like Morata or Giroud, and they're not here.
Yeah, when the ball comes in the box, you want a minimum of probably 3 players bearing down in on the goal, and Chelsea rarely have had that.
Chelsea have had the better of this second half, by the way. They've dominated the ball. They've been inside Tottenham territory more than Tottenham have been in the opponent's half. But when Tottenham come forward, you think they've got a threat. When Chelsea go forward, you can't see that same level of panic amongst the defence.
Yeah, and that probably sums up the way the game's going at present.
It is 1-0 to Spurs. Alonso across the halfway line. Chesting it down is Azpilicueta. Further on now to Callum Hudson-Odoi, still hugging that touchline, running at Rose and at Eriksson. Barkley is available. He has to go back because there's no one to play it forward to. There were 5 white shirts in front of him. He'll start again, Hudson-Odoi. Then find Hazard. Hazard runs centrally. He's being tracked by Ali. He sends it wide. Oh, that's a good ball. A chance to open it up. A low ball into the box. It might fall to Hudson-Odoi. Did well to deal with it after a ricochet. Gets it back to Azpilicueta. Goes out towards the far side and Tottenham clear, but certainly Rose's hand came across into the middle of his body there to try and stop that, because it looked as if it was heading towards his crown jewels.
Yeah, it certainly hit his hand. I don't know how much it was ball to hand.
I don't think it would have been a penalty though, because I think he was outside the area.
There weren't much in it. Just is probably the word on that one.
Well, the VAR would be looking at it right now. The ball is out on the left-hand side. Chelsea have had 66% of the ball in the second half. Shows you how dominant they have been since we restarted proceedings. Willian onto Conte, looking to try and bring Azpilicueta into play. They've got an overload on the right side here, Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi is joining up. Low fizz ball into the box, which is blocked by the first man, Rose. And it's nudged out for a throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, they've just not found a free player when they've had so much possession, especially this second half. They're probing, they're 20, 25 yards out, but they just can't find a breakthrough, a pass, or an opening for a clear shot.
Hazard's effort from the right edge of the area has taken a deflection and gone over the top, and it's gone away for another corner to Chelsea, who trail by a goal to nil. You get the sense, though, that this is Chelsea's best spell of the game, and they've got to make it count.
Yeah, clearly in possession terms, in territory terms, it's their best phase of the game. But as you and I know, they've got to put the ball in the net.
Ball in towards the near post. Barkley with a header, comes back to Christensen, who's missed unmarked at the far post from 6 yards out. Barkley's header onto the far post. Christensen was there. He should have scored his first goal for Chelsea.
Yep, he's gone at it with his wrong foot. He should be coming. He's lost his man at the far post really well, flicked on, and he's, well, outside of the right foot he's gone at it with when it was so clear. Anything on his left foot goes back across the goalkeeper and in the back of the net. That could be costly.
It's a big chance for Chelsea, straight on the hour mark. And I wonder what the reaction was down on the bench. Here's the Moose.
Well, Maurizio Sarri is not happy at the moment because he also thought he should have a free kick, by the way, for that handball against Danny Rose. Came straight across to Kevin Friend, gave the VAR sign, the sign for the TV camera. And by the way, he's been warming up Pedro for the entire period of the second half. I wonder if we can see the Spaniard very soon. In fact, we are. He's just getting stripped in front of me.
OK, thank you very much. There's no point in Maurizio Sarri doing a VAR sign for a free kick, because obviously the VAR cannot try and win the ball, and as a result picking up a yellow card. And the Colombian now one of two Spurs players to find their way into the referee's notebook. Here's Jorginho trying to find Barkley. Sissoko's robbed him of possession. Christensen's come across and just about got the ball clear. He's hurt himself in the process. Chelsea are continuing. Christensen's down inside his own half as Hudson-Odoi starts to race forward. He tries to nudge into the path of Hazard. He can't do so. It deflects off Alderweireld and goes out to the right side. Now it's with Eden Hazard again. Into Hudson-Odoi, and he's missed it. And it goes back through Alderweireld to Gazzaniga, who decides to chip Hudson-Odoi. Goes into Alderweireld's chest. He volleys it clear, but straight to a Chelsea player. I don't think Alderweireld was happy with the delivery from Gazzaniga. Back to Willian, onto Conte. He moves down the right. Now Hudson-Odoi running again with purpose towards the edge of the box. He finds Willian this time, but Willian's ball is not accurate, and it's cleared away by Rose and up to halfway. Spurs 1, Chelsea 0, but Chelsea just starting to put the pressure on Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I think for these first 15 minutes of this half, it's been permanently Chelsea. They've fashioned one reasonable effort, you would say, from Christensen.
Ball forward by Christensen, trying to find Conte, who's the deep runner from midfield. I just never feel that he's going to be able to fulfil that role as well as somebody else whose position that really is.
No, he's so genuine in his endeavours, Kante, but you're right in what you're saying. He's a world-class holding midfield player and a reasonable advanced midfield player.
It was a great chance for Chelsea to get the ball forward to Willian and made a good run. They didn't do so. Hazard's taken over instead. He's trying to dice his way through the back line of the Tottenham. He's unleashed the shot, took a deflection, goes out, and it's out for a corner kick which has been given. Tottenham aren't happy about it. Hazard is. Chelsea are going to make the change, and here's Ian Abrahams.
Well, Pedro's not very happy about it because he's not coming on right at the moment. It looks like Maurizio Sarri will wait till after this corner.
OK. Chelsea fans are the ones you can hear over on the far side now as Willian prepares to take this corner. There's a knot of 4 Chelsea blue shirts inside the box to aim at. It's aimed in towards Rudiger. Comes out only as far as Christensen. Didn't reach it. Good header away that by Spurs. Picked up by Jorginho. Goes back to the centre circle. And Spurs are rushing Chelsea, but Chelsea have kept hold of the ball and turned Barkley down into the corner of the pitch thanks to Jorginho's vision. And then across comes Sissoko, puts it out and away for a throw. Now he will have that change, Ian.
Coming on and Willian off, so Willian, who only just made this game, obviously coming back from injury, goes off, and Pedro likewise not rushed back but back quicker than we all thought, comes on for the last 28 minutes.
And Spurs have been 1-0 up here at Wembley and conceded second half goals to lose a match already this season. In fact, it wasn't too far in the distant past. Wolverhampton Wanderers came here in the second half, attacked and ended up winning the game 3-1 after being 1-0 down. Chelsea will hope to turn this one around as well, but at the moment they trail. Pedro on instead of Willian, and that's an interesting one. It means that Callum Hudson-Odoi has come out towards this left-hand side to try his chances now.
Yeah, I think whichever way it is, that they'll see plenty of the ball, the wide players for Chelsea, but they've got to turn this this possession, this territory. I mean, well, we're looking, the ball has spent 3% of the time in Chelsea's last third this half. Incredible. And this doesn't look good for Spurs, by the way,
because Harry Kane has just gone down off the ball, and that will concern Mauricio Pochettino. Heung-min Son has come out to speak to his manager. Harry Kane has gone down, I think it's his left calf or left knee, which is the problem. Eden Hazard has gone over to have a word with Harry Kane to check he's okay. Harry Kane at the moment is receiving treatment as a result.
I think it's a calf problem. I'm no lip reader, but I thought I saw...
It's one of those you wouldn't take a chance with. Is it? If you're Harry Kane and you've got... I mean, if you're Tottenham Hotspur, he is your rich source of goals. I know Son's done very well, but Son's going to the Asian Cup, and they don't want to lead... They don't want to take any risks with a player like Harry Kane at this stage of the season when they know what's to come.
Look, if you're injured and your calf's gone, you're only going to do it more damage by staying on the pitch. He'll know what level it is. No, he's got the thumbs up. He's okay, dude. Just in the physio there.
We'll see how long that thumb stays up for. It looks as if he's going to come back on after going off the pitch, though. And that's good news for Gareth Southgate, who is here, by the way. I didn't notice whether or not he was wearing that cap, though, that you were talking about. I don't think he was.
No cap tonight.
No cap tonight. Maybe he thought, he looked at himself in the mirror and not sure about that.
Maybe those friendly words of advice in a car park in Wolverhampton done the trick.
He's already had enough caps here anyway. Here is Eriksen out on the left-hand side. That was Sag's joke, not mine. He takes the ball towards the corner flag and tries to get away from Azpilicueta. Tottenham on the attack here. Dele Alli trying to bear down on that little knot on the far touchline, but Rudiger has brought the ball away and then hit it straight at Son, and they were in danger of giving the ball away before Azpilicueta decided just to smash it as far away from the Chelsea goal as possible. Picked up by Harry Winks on halfway. Pedro tries to win it back for Chelsea. Danny Rose is running backwards and finds Davinson Sanchez. And the Tottenham crowd turn the noise up once again. 21 minutes played in the second half. Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0. You are listening to Talk Sport. The ball is on the right with Harry Kane, who hoists it forward. Son is isolated, the fullback. He's left it for Sissoko, who's charging past Azpilicueta, who doesn't deal with it, but Conte does. He comes across, and there, very quickly, was N'Golo Conte to get it away for Chelsea and save the day.
Well, it's got frantic inside Wembley now, both sets of fans. Tottenham are inside Chelsea's half for the first time this half, near enough. And Chelsea, well...
They didn't look secure there, did they?
No, they didn't. The pace and power of Tottenham, as you said earlier, they look as though they got more idea and more cutting edge when they do actually get hold of the ball and look to probe.
Always a threat Spurs record under Pochettino against the Big Six is not brilliant. 15 wins in 45 games coming into this fixture. It will be a big victory. It will set them up nicely for the second leg if they can get through this 90 minutes. They'll want Harry Kane to get through the 90 minutes as well. He's just been played the ball down the right-hand side. Does he seem to be moving okay for you?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think he'll know himself. He knows his own body.
Maurizio Sarri's only won 4 of his 12 games, with the top 2 in Italy when he was the manager of Napoli. The 2 outstanding teams, Juve and Serie A and Roma. And 2 managers that are trying to go from excellent coaches to outstanding winning coaches, both yet to win their first major trophy. One of them will get to a final this year. It's a leap that they've got to make, and they both know it. Here is Barkley, on to Jorginho. Barkley looking for the run of Pedro, but before he could release the ball, Dele Alli was there to nab it. Hasn't really had the best of games, Barkley, tonight. The ball picked up by Kane, who's trying to run at the Chelsea defence. Eventually, between Conte and Jorginho, they stop him, but then Dele Alli's trying to stop Conte from getting away. It's a lovely back heel by Conte to find Jorginho, and Chelsea are out. Under pressure inside their own half. They're away on this left-hand side with Alonso, who progresses to the halfway line. He's got space on the left for Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's made the run, but the ball didn't go to him. Too delayed, and now Hazard is trying to get away from the run of Son and Sanchez, and a foul has been given against Davinson Sanchez. But he's had to come very deep there to get the ball, Hazard.
He has. There's a bit of frustration in his play when it's almost like you're the best kid in the playground and you want the ball all the time, and you get an element of frustration with those around you in your team that are not giving you the ball when you want it.
I just saw Hudson-Odoi make a really good run down the left side, but he wasn't spotted by the Chelsea midfield. And then he had to check and come back, and that meant